Hey everyone. So the dev team released some new functionality we're calling the design library in My Easy Monogram in the past week or so. I want to make a quick video on what the design library is and how I would foresee a lot of people using it. My intended purpose for creating the design library was so you could create templates that would then allow you to create new designs very rapidly instead of recreating the entire sign every single time when you're just maybe swapping out an animal or something of that nature. You'd create a template and then you would essentially be able to start from that template to create your new design. So this is a design studio feature. So when you're in products, make sure you check design studio products and then for the custom steel decor. And now you'll see that there's a new option called Browse Library. From here, you can see Michelle and I have already been working on creating some new templates for you guys to use. I'm going to show you inherently what the problem is with this original template that we created and what I would do differently moving forward. So I'm going to edit, and this is going to open up the design studio for me to make changes to this design. So for you to properly use this, you can see now, the design library functionality, you're starting from something. You're not starting from zero. So we already have the top text, middle text, bottom text, and we have the base design. The base design is all of that ring geometry. However, let's say that I wanted to add a bear into here. There's no way for me to pull in this bear without going through and editing the bear to where it's cut out in the middle, or if I want to make the bear bigger, where the bear's cut out so it's not in the text area. So the proper way to create a template, I would say, is where you have text fields, you actually want to import those into My Easy Monogram as white areas. So I'm going to show you what that looks like with Adobe. So let me go ahead and hide this. Obviously, if I'm showing you something and telling you that I'm importing it as white, you can't really see it if there's a white artboard. So I throw this blue rectangle down to be able to properly show you what's happening here. So when I export this image out, the mounting holes are white. The rest of the image is transparent. The white blocks whatever's behind it. Transparent obviously does not block whatever's behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a design to replace what we had in My Easy Monogram, which is the outer ring, the inner ring, and then the name bar across the middle. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't have to do the name bar across the middle because I already created a name bar that can be used, and you see I filled it with white so that it hides everything behind it. So all I'm actually going to do is the outer ring and the inner ring with the white area, the white donut, if you will, in the middle. So let me go back to Adobe and go ahead and change this dimension to 900. Just go play around with this until I find the right size. I think that looks all right. Now I'm going to fill this shape with white, and I'm going to add a stroke. That's how I actually that's how I'm going to create the two rings. So let me set that to 45. It's a little too thick for my taste, so I'm just going to play around with it. Now I'm going to increase the size of this to, let's do all right, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go export this image out. First I got to make sure I hide the blue layer, and you'll see when I export this, you can see the white area versus the transparent area. So outside and inside the circle is transparent. The inner donut, if you will, is white. So I'm going to save this as, I'm just going to call this ring. And then you'll notice I also didn't include any mounting holes. I did that on purpose, and I'll show you why here in just a second. So I'm going to hide the base design. I'm also going to hide the name layer. Let's go ahead and import the new ring that I just created. And I'm going to call this template ring. I'm going to make sure it's public so all of you guys can use it. And then template ring text, and just some tags to help people find it. And I'm going to upload that. So as I scale this to fit the artboard, I'm going to drop it in the layer tree to be below bottom text. So we can see it properly now. I'm going to set this to, maybe let's do 950 by 950. And then I'm going to center it again. Okay, so that looks pretty good. You'll notice now if I show the text box, or what I call I think I call it the name frame. Let me actually go ahead and name that here. Alright, so we got the name frame, and if I drop that below, so I can take this all the way down. This is going to be the ring. Alright, so if the name frame is below middle text, then you can see middle text, but if the name frame was in front or on top of the middle text, obviously that would block it. So, but also if I put the ring on top, you can see how it crops the name frame down. If I swap that order, you see the name frame now continues across the middle. So I'm going to set it like this because we want it to look similar to the other design. And I'm going to go into my top text. I'm going to adjust the radius so it's fitting properly. I'm going to go up on my font size just a little bit. It's always better to be on the safe side with overlapping. Just prevents headaches down the road. And now my bottom text, again, I'm going to modify my radius, and I'm going to increase my font size. Alright, so we're fitting properly there. The name frame is a little bit too tall, so I'm going to adjust its height to, let's go to 90. Oops. Go ahead and align that center. Grab my name frame. I'm going to drag that up so I can grab it without interfering with anything else like I just did. Sorry, I'm struggling over here. So a little tip if you're having a hard time grabbing the right stuff, you can hide everything that doesn't matter. And see, like even now the ring doesn't matter. I'm going to grab that name frame, I'm going to drag it up into location, about right there. Let me go ahead and center it this direction. And now I need to drop that below the middle text. Let's see how we're there. I'm going to go a little bit higher. Let's go to 50. Go 52, and then I'm going to grab my middle text. I'm going to increase my font size. Okay, like so. My name frame. I'm gonna grab my height, adjust that to, let's do 86. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna show everything again and the ring. Again, if I drop the name frame below the ring, it's gonna hide the left and the right side. Now let me check my middle text box, and I can see that it's properly spanning from left to right in that text area. So I remember before I said that I didn't include the mounting holes on purpose, and that's because I've already actually created a hole geometry. You can see the inside of the hole is white. I can scale this down to, we'll just call it a little bit smaller than that. Scale that down to, let's do 34 inches. Let me hide all my text real quick while I'm doing this. I'm gonna name this hole, and I'm gonna place it up here, and let's go ahead and make sure that we're centered horizontally. Now I can duplicate that. Let's set this to 900, just get it kind of close. And set it approximately there. Again, I'm going to center that. So now let me show my text options. All right, so this is the base design recreated in a way that I say is better for you. The reason being is because now you can come in, add that bear, and let's say that you want the bear sized up. That'd be a little bit too much. Let me put the bear about like this, and I'll go into my layers here, and you'll see if I drop the bear below the name frame, or it's already below the ring, and so I'll put it above the ring, and you can see it's exceeding the ring, especially up here on this ear. But then when I drop it below the name frame, it's also behind that as well. So it's just clipping functionality is all that we're doing here. And if I didn't have the white in the ring, it would have you would have been able to see the bear just like when we had the original base design here. So hopefully this is clear. I'm probably going to make a couple more videos just to kind of elaborate this point a little bit more. But for the sake of creating a template, I'm going to go ahead and delete the bear out, and I'm going to delete the original base. And you can see in here when you go to preview, it all populates properly. The text is squeezing properly in the space that we're allowing it to be. We're good there. We're good there. So this is a safe template to use. Also going to go ahead and I'm going to increase the validation. And actually I'm going to make this required. And then middle text. That's good. That's good. Let's see, bottom text. Validation required. Let's go to 24. Okay. So again, just to kind of drive this point home with something that's makes a little bit more sense, maybe, is an initial. If we wanted to set this in space like so, we can see it's exceeding the top, and it's exceeding the ring, and it's exceeding the center text area. So To prevent that, I would drop it below the ring. And now it's hidden from the ring. If I drop it below the name frame, now it's not obstructing the name. Again, hopefully this all makes sense. I'm definitely going to be making a few more examples to run through, but the core functionality that I'm trying to show here is just the incorporation of white into the images that you're bringing in to provide what's called a mask. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to save this out to the design library as a template for you guys to all get in there and start playing with.